Welcome back to Building Today. We're going to go over some drawings of a project on Silver Lake. We've taken you through preliminary designs and the pricing drawings, and we just recently met with the client to go through the pricing drawing review with the builder. So the builder's now added on another level of detail. They picked a builder, so there's a lot of builder-specific information that we need to go through now. The big thing with going from a set of pricing drawings to a final permit set is the client has now received a price and they have a very, very clear idea of what the budget is. So a lot of times those cost changes need to be made now into the design and to accommodate what the builder is going to do as far as windows and doors and insulation and foundation, et cetera, et cetera. So there's quite a few little tweaks we need to make, both for the cost and for the builder. So we're going to take a look and go through it with Dorothy, who is responsible for actually doing the drawings.
The meeting went really well. There weren't a lot of changes, and we were able to just keep mostly what we had and just add additional information that the builder gave us. This client had a great relationship with the builder and seemed like they were really tackling each of those design questions in detail in person. And when that happens, we just kind of try to step back and let that evolve how it's going to, and we just kind of call out, hey, there's going to be a built-in by the builder and or by the owner, and then it doesn't interfere if something changes later on.
This is the drawings as they were for pricing. And we had a pretty large bathroom with the washing machine in it. Furnace down at the long end of the hallway, so we could run the ductwork across the ceiling pretty easily down the middle of the house, so very energy efficient, very efficient for the furnace. What happened after pricing, the homeowner, and we're still working on these, decided that they wanted to do a smaller bathroom with a larger kind of kitchenette gathering area at the bottom of the stairs. This meant the bathroom got a little smaller, or could get a little smaller because the washing machine wasn't in there. And as a result, we gained a little area over here. So is everything, client has an idea of how big something should be, and we do it that size, and then they look at it and they're like, well, maybe a little bigger.
It's almost never a little smaller.
Almost never, unless it comes in over budget, and then we'll say, well, we told you so, but we usually then have a plan to fall back on. But again, this is a good fit for builder and client, so he made it bigger and bigger and bigger, and then the builder came back and was like, oh yeah, here's the price, and they're like, perfect. So kind of left it and made it bigger in some areas, like the deck.
In that conversation, it was really nice to have the builder there to where they could talk as we were changing things. Mm-hmm. The client and the builder could talk about cost of built-ins and different options that the builder was comfortable doing.
Yeah, I always prefer to have the builder at the pricing drawing review meeting before we go into the permit drawings, because they bring a lot of good information to the table, not just price, but years of experience usually for how they like to build and what might be a little bit more cost effective and also advantageous for the client, and getting into more specifics on that front. So it's not just like, this could be more or less costly. It's usually this costs this much. If we do it like this, it'll cost this much. So long story short, it's a lot more specific conversation about cost when the builder is present. Something like Dorothy was saying that the builder brought to the table here in, again, meeting and talking with the client on a more specific interior design questions, we decided to bump this mudroom space around. In talking with the client, the builder was like, well, have you thought about, a little broom closet? Have you thought about more of a drop zone for the pantry, and it's, small family is the client, so didn't need as large of a bench and lockers. The walls didn't really change, but what we did is we made the locker area a little smaller so that they can design in a little bit of a cabinet for a drop zone for keys and mail. And then we shrunk the pantry. It's ultimately the same size storage, but it's segregated storage. So we have the pantry space, and then we have a little broom closet here as well. So at the end of the day, it's the same amount of storage, it's just separated storage for specific purposes. So a lot of that conversation with the builder, we're not going to illustrate it. So this drawing here is still very, very generic, but we got the big pieces in there. The size of the fireplace, the placement of the walls, and the conversation, because the builder's handling the interior design, is making sure we've given the builder the space to do what they want to do for that built-in design. So it's really kind of a rough massing here just to have that conversation, make sure we're all on the same page, and we can put dimensions on it and the builder can build it, and they know they have the room to complete the design. A lot of times we'll do the interior design, so this will get a lot more developed. But for this particular project, we kept it a little more generic so that the builder has more leeway and flexibility. So this is where we started. Thinking it would be a white house, modern kind of hip style, with not a lot extending past the garage because of how small the house was. Fireplace between these windows, direct vent, so there'd be a little vent there. And then where we ended, we made the house quite a bit wider, so it's not all garage when you come down the driveway. Changed the colors up entirely, added the dark, wood tones. We did have stone in here at one time, but that was eliminated for cost-cutting reasons so that other things could get bigger. And we eliminated the hip roofs in favor of gabled roofs. He liked this even better. So again, with the 3D software that we use, we were able to show them both ways. And both of them, in my opinion, were equally beautiful. And he decided that this is his preference, and that's where we landed. It's a beautiful house. We've reviewed the drawings and we're making the final set of changes. There's still a lot of work to be done, but it's all detail work now. After meeting with the client and the builder, we were able to come together on a final plan. So the next version of this will be the final drawings, and it'll go out to be built, and they should be starting in a couple months. So join us next time and you'll see a hole in the ground and some foundation work being done.